Uranium friends, we're going to check in on some of the Australian names on the Australian exchange. We're starting it off with Bannerman. Water falling down on the weekly, right? So 200-day moving average is just now the rejection point. But, if you've listened to my videos over the years, over the time that I've been doing them, I talk about the moving averages. And when the moving averages stretch out, they need to reconcile. It's what they're going to do. It's a showing of overbought extended conditions. It's all these moving averages do. These names respect them fairly well, and that's why I find them to be very useful in the uranium space. So what has occurred here, right? Well, you've had your 12 EMA rider on this weekly chart for a very long time, and now it's a rider on the way down. When it gets to be a rider on the way down after a long extended run, does it just end right away? Probably not. So could you be in for a little bit more of a summer of pain? Well, it's quite possible, right? Here's a summer of pain. Let's see what we got going on here. Well, this is not a summer of pain, right? So this is right. It wrote it, regained it, wrote it back up. So there goes that theory of the all summers are painful, right? So it's just writing it down now, and even when it comes back to test it, it's the scenario is the more likely the probabilities say it's going to reject there for a weekly lower high. That's what we're keeping an eye out for. So there, in my opinion, again, no rush on. I've said it many times with the ASX stuff. It's harder for me to trade. It's harder for me to play. I will position when I think the time is right. I don't know that this is the case here. So it's just still going down, showing absolutely zero signs of any sort of relief. It's just continually going down. We need that to change at this point. So even if there's a bounce here to the daily 12 EMA, it's likely that's all it's going to do is just help to confirm more of a daily downtrend. The interesting chart, I think, is probably going to end up being, these fibs are still good, right, from this 2020 run on up. And this is really, it's only it's the 382 retracement is still acting as a bounce point, which keeps this probably quarterly bull flag. Yeah, quarterly bull flag alive, quarterly cup and handle situation here. So sideways action on this quarterly. As long as it holds this quarterly 12 EMA at 246 area, it's perfectly fine for this name. As painful as it's going to be. Let's see what that monthly shows us. Yeah. I mean, you got a little bit of a it's technically not a cup and handle only because this right side did break out over this left side, but the psychology is there. So if we're going to look for, if we can see, like, if you get some sort of look like this on the quarterly, right? So just constantly doing something like this. Drawing's horrible, but maybe you get this long extended sideways action that'll get you that leg up. I don't know. It's to me, for me to say that that's what's going to happen, I have no idea. But I watch for those possibilities. I would assume I'm going to make an assumption that there is going to be a weekly bounce incoming on this name. I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't know when it's going to occur. The most likely scenario of that bounce is a rejection and a lower high compared to this top. So we have to see how that all plays out. The daily is just water falling. It's in oversold conditions at this point. What does the weekly RSI look like? Yeah, nothing, right? So there's nothing to glean off of that either. What does historical RSI look like for Bannerman? Well, yeah, it can go deeper. We know that, right? We can see that. It does it. So, the RSI, I've always said it's not the be all end all. It might be good for intraday trading or for these back burner bounces, but not here. So Bannerman does not look good. Looks fine from a longer term perspective. Sure, the fundamental guys will say all sorts of great things about how wonderful they are and what the great things they're doing. Namibia, there's not the geopolitical risk, whatever. Okay, the chart does not look good. The price action is not good, and anybody who thinks that this is good price action, they need to start learning equities a little bit. It left a gap on that gap down as financing or something going on. One would assume that these gaps get filled at some point. No idea when. Boss, which has been really a much stronger name for the life of the uranium run, still very, very strong on the quarterly chart. And so very healthy to come back to this 12 EMA, which would just be retesting the breakout area. So as painful as it is for some people, and man, that CEO timed his sells pretty good, huh? Right? Guy sold right up here, right in here somewhere. Still going down. There's your relief bounce that Bannerman hasn't gotten yet. There's a little bit of a relief bounce into more continuation and legging down, losing all support areas, losing the volume profile support. Let me see what it looks like over here on a weekly with this volume profile. Yeah, losing that too. So, you're not really coming into good support until it's back testing that breakout area around 285. So, another dollar of pain here for the holders. This is why I say entry points matter, right? Top tickers are getting smashed. They're getting crushed. It's just that simple. Don't be a top ticker. Learn to read a chart. Deep yellow. Yeah, it looks like it's holding up a little bit better, right? In Bershoff, we trust. Quarterly chart. Continued strength. Deep yellow looks better than the other Australian names. Daily. Yeah. I mean, this daily low here, today's low. It's possible that this is set. We'll see. Not a bad spot. DPL looks better. So, you want to know, all right, so here's a stronger name in Australian majors. Watch to see what it does. And then to see what these other guys are going to do. Does Boss follow Deep Yellow? Does Bannerman follow Deep Yellow? Are these profits just rotating out of Boss into Deep Yellow? This is a better look. It's closing above its 12 EMA for the past couple of days. It's a better look for Deep Yellow. Strength, some strength. The weekly, bouncing off the 200-day moving average, still holding its, you know, loose trend. We want to call this a loose trend, right? This is probably that is really what we want to have, right? You got your touches here. Um, so it's undercutting this trend right now. It hasn't lost it. There's many names that have just lost their trends. This is just an undercut for now. We got to see what the follow through looks like. And the rest of the Australian names, Lotus, garbage, right? I mean, it's just getting killed. Weekly waterfall, blowing through the 50-day exponential, the 50 exponential, and a 200-day moving average. Daily oversold conditions, a little bit of an RSI divergence, no big deal. Who cares? 200-day moving average rejection, 12 EMA moving average rejection. Nothing good on Lotus. Paladin, at least we know there's some reason for it, right? So this is the merger with Fission. But, a slightly bit of a better look. At least there's some recovery here. Um, there's a possibility for a trend change, a daily trend change here. It's made enough room against this level here, which is what? 1199. It's made enough room to get hopefully a daily higher low and a daily higher high. Right? This is how you look for these trend changes, right? Low, high. Try to get this higher high wherever it is, as long as this level holds. Get the pivot to confirm the trend change. Boom, done. That's what you're looking for here. Paladin has the potential to do it. Peninsula, garbage name. Sorry for those who are in it, but if you listen to whoever, Nostra, whatever you want to call it, whatever he wants to call himself, who keeps buying it and pumping it, well, you get what you deserve, right? So does this mean that Peninsula is not going to be a viable name? No, it doesn't mean that at all. Technically, it's garbage, right? It doesn't even really have much in the way of a falling wedge look, but you are starting to get at least a little bit of a look like this. And so there, I guess if you want to have some positivity on it, it would be that, right? But we don't know which way it's going to go. Let the triangle resolve itself before making any decisions. So those are the majors. Who else does? What else does anybody look at? Um, we'll look at Silex in the picks and shovels names, not the miners. So, yeah, that's it on the ASX stuff. Just trying to think if there's anything that other people like. I know a lot of people look at Elevate. Let's see what Elevate looks like. Elevate looks okay, still, but it's breaking this whole value area and losing the point of control on this volume profile. It doesn't bode well. And coming into this big air pocket, it doesn't bode well because now your next support area is in here. So anybody you want to, do I want to take a 10 cent? That's a 30% drawdown from current price levels to use as my stop loss area. That's too much as far as I'm concerned. So I just let it sit back, and watch the action. When it changes and it establishes a support area that I can work off of, then I'll talk about it again. But that's it for the Australian names. Over and out.